Now
saying
I
that
gotta
for
ask
100
you
years.
something else.
Okay.
We've given some love to the new product. We need to talk about some old product, and before we talk about the old product that we're talking about, I got a question for you. Is Jake Roberts high right now?
Man, I've been thinking about this since I was texting you.
You
Bruh,
were being petty, bruh.
nah,
You were being trifling.
if I had a nickel for every time somebody that old wrestlers, not even wrestlers, people on the
Brother.
street claim to be clean and found God. If I had a nickel for every time that I heard that and it turned out to not be true, I'd be a millionaire. So, like, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, cause I'm the jackass and the asshole
It's a
that you
fun
think
place
I.
to be. Don't worry about it.
But my problem, I hope for Jake's sake.
I hope for his kids' sake.
No. I hope for. I Let me go back one other thing before I say I hope for Jake's sake. Jake Roberts' upbringing, from how he came into this world to having to deal with Grizzly Smith as a father, I have a lot of empathy for what that dude had to deal with. Because Grizzly Smith, I hope there's a hell and I hope he's burning in it. I really do. Because he is a fucking animal.
He's foul, dude.
He is beyond foul. You know how you like to mess with me, like, oh, bro, you know, I can always tell when you strike a nerve, and we have fun with sports and the Pellies and the Saints and the Cowboys.
Dude,
But let
Grizzly
me tell
Smith
you
legit
something.
gets you hot.
Let me tell you something. I care about that stuff, but my blood pressure ain't going up. You want to see my blood pressure go up? Sit me down, hook me up to some kind of heart monitor, and put on anything about Grizzly Smith, and I legit get hot. Like, I get dig this man up's grave up so we can defecate on it type hot, because like, hell is too nice of a place for him. So when I say what I'm about to say about Jake, he had the way he came into this world, from his father raping his 14-year-old mother to, you know, Grizzly, just the abusiveness that he was. Then they start doing the family tree of Grizzly, which is just, bro, that just, when you start writing it down on paper, like, and you see what Grizzly was, it's sickening, man. It makes you just want to projectile vomit. And so I say all that to say Jake has had a tough time. But, and there's a big but, I also believe as a grown human being, at some point, you gotta take control, because you have the means to do so. You were a star. The things that led you to these drugs were your stardom, but you also had the means to correct what was going on in your life. And he relapses a million times. And again, I have empathy for it, because, man, my father-in-law, even to this day, man, I know he keeps relapsing. It just, you know, I see it. I just see it. I can see how he's acting sometimes, and I know, okay, yeah, it's right. I know what's going on right now. So I understand it happens. And there are people, like, you know, not like my father-in-law, who do get clean and stay clean. But the majority, like, I just feel like it's always got a grip on him. So I hope for Jake's sake, he's telling the truth and he's really clean. But I just have my doubts, because it's one of those things where, fool me once, you know, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I hope he's clean, but I just have my doubts. And I don't want to say that because I sound like the asshole, but I just have my doubts. Do you have your doubts when it comes to Jake, that he's really clean?
I think he's probably really clean, but I wouldn't put money on him dying that way. And
That's a
that's
great
just,
point.
go ahead.
I'm no, I'm glad you said that, because that is an excellent point. Like you're saying right now in the moment, oh yeah, he's clean as a whistle. He's life's running right. Everything's great. But you're saying if you had to bet, you
And
wouldn't bet that
that's
he
not
would.
that doesn't have a lot to do with him. It has more to do with the recidivism rate of relapse rate of people that have these kinds of problems. The odds
Yeah.
are against them.
Yeah, I mean, and there are people who do get clean, man. Like, there's a listener out there. He told this story to me one time. He emailed me, and I was like, "Bruh, more power to you." And I mean, he don't have no reason to. There's a couple of them actually that told me. I'm like, "Bruh, more power to you," because I don't know that grip that cocaine and crack has on you. I ain't never done those things, and I'm not judging anybody who has, even though it sounds like I'm judging Jake, but I'm really not. But so I feel for people that do overcome it and like actually overcome it. Like, but it's just the thing about Jake that made it so bad was like, I remember indie promoters that he was just soaking money from. I ain't saying no names. And he'd come in, blasted off of his ass, working these indie shows, taking money, going out there and can't even walk straight to the ring. Like, when you see those things, you're like, this is, it kind of it gives you a bad feeling towards the person because they were stealing.
You had a partner that was in the biography, right?
I wanted to go back and watch it, but and a couple of the fellas out there who are listening to this that knew me during my indie days, they'll know who we're talking about here. He wrestled under the name Bones. If you notice towards the end of, I don't remember what point they showed it, but there was a black guy in the ring with Jake in Natchez, Mississippi, I believe it is. That's Bones. So yeah, I was one of my old partners back in the day. I haven't talked
Harper's
to him in years. But he was wrestling in the match that they showed. I'm about to conference from in now. That they showed Jake wrestling in Mississippi, where they alluded, I don't know for a fact, but they alluded to Jake being blitzed, high, drunk, whatever. I don't know which one he was, but they said he wasn't good. So anyway, yeah, man, I don't know, man. Look, I'm gonna ask Harper as soon as he picks up what he thinks about it, because Harper, you joined at the right moment. Let me ask you a question. They did a A&E biography on Jake this past weekend, Jake the Snake Roberts. My question to you is, do you think, Doc asked me this, I want to know your opinion. Do you think Jake Roberts is clean at this point in time in his life? And do you think if he is, do you think he's going to stay clean?
Is he 100% clean? I think he might drink some. But, I mean, I don't think he's smoking crack or some shit like that. But, I mean, he might drink.
Has he smoked his last crack pipe?
Yes. Because how old is he?
67, maybe?
Yeah. If he smokes crack once, he'll fucking die. Because his body he's fucking pushing 70. He would fucking kill over. His body can't fucking take that. How many old fucking cokeheads are there that are 70 or fucking heroin?
I would imagine that they're too busy doing drugs to tell you they're doing drugs.
So, I think he might drink. But
so he's California sober.
I guess, yeah. Because there's no way he's still smoking crack or fucking doing fucking coke, because he'll be fucking dead, dude. Because the problem is, once you reach like your fucking 40s, bro, your body can't take that anymore. It's like a car. It can't. It fucking reaches a certain point where I mean, if you don't get that shit up, you're gonna OD, or you're gonna be in a fucking coffin.
So is your internet connection? Is your internet connection 65 years old smoking crack right now?
So why? It's fucking up.
We're close to Deep Throat Harper.
Oh.
When's the last time you restarted?
I don't fucking know, Mike.
That's fine.
The consistency is tremendous.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Doc, any other topics? Did we finish discussing Jake, or did you have anything else on
Yeah, I
Jake
mean, most
Roberts'
of that
thing?
stuff was. I mean, I watched it, but like Mrs. Doc always gets into the documentaries, and she's like, "I feel like I know all this stuff," and I was like, "Yeah,
That's the problem. Yeah, Tiffany was the same thing. We're sitting there watching it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, wasn't his dad like a psycho pervert? He was a child molester?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah," because we've seen this on Dark Side of the fucking Ring, and that's the problem. Is that it's the same shit. It's just packaged differently.
well, I watched it because there's no football on now,
Well,
and there
yeah,
was no basketball on that night that I wanted to see." So I was like, "Well, shit."
that goes to show you, bro. Fucking everyone wants to go back
Yeah,
to
we
that
do.
time and fucking wrestling. I mean, fuck, you think there could be some documentary about fucking Seth Rollins fucking 20,
No,
30 years from now or fucking Roman. I mean, it's just or fucking Kevin Owens or something. I mean, what are
I
you
mean
gonna
there's
say? Yeah, I wrestled
there's a
that.
couple of guys, but nothing like they've been able to do. I mean, like they could get 30 years from now, maybe or 20 years from now, maybe they can get one season,
Yeah, I
and
don't
even
think.
then, those
Well,
guys aren't as big of stars.
well, the problem is it's not only they're not as big as stars, but their journey to get to where they are, to say the least, it's not as fucking colorful because
That's
there's no
true.
territories.
These
They just
people, the wrestlers, were borderline criminals running around town to town. There's some
right.
romanticism there.
Yes, very rock star
Yeah.
like fucking
I'm gonna come to
lifestyle.
town, do some drugs, drink some drinks, have some ladies,
Yeah,
kick some ass, and when the heat gets hot, I'm gonna get out of here and get on to the next town.
right. And now it's like, hey, you want to go to Waffle House and then go to the hotel room and we could sit there and fucking play on our phones until one of us falls asleep. How does that
Even
sound?
even the quote unquote clean superstars, like, and when I say clean, I mean even a guy like Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, who, I mean, they might not have been doing the most moral things, but
Oh,
they
but
weren't
they
out there breaking, like, they weren't breaking like being complete criminals. Even they have tremendous backstories when you
oh
think
yeah.
about the women and the partying and that type of stuff. That, like, I don't know if you even have. I don't even say I don't know. I don't think you have as much as that now. Like,
You have
you
none of
know,
that because it's a whole. Uh, Back then, I think these women knew what their role was.
What was that?
It's like your role.
What was it?
I am gonna fuck you, and you will not contact me again unless I contact you.
Bro,
I
that's the thing
disagree
we
to an
need to go
extent.
back to.
But
You know what I?
now, if like let's say some woman slept with, let's say fucking, fucking Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or whoever the fuck, she's on his fucking Instagram, she's on his Twitter, she's fucking hitting him up, and then when he doesn't message back, she's gonna go, "Oh, Seth Rollins fucked me last night at the Ramada Inn, and that asshole won't return my phone calls. He's a piece of shit." And now he's getting blasted on fucking WWE, worrying about losing his fucking job.